All right, go ahead.
What's up, guys? Well, once again, welcome to our Hump Day Investments, our Wednesday tribute to real estate investments in Riviera Maya, and talking about whatnots and ins and outs and what to do, what not to do, how to be happy, how to be sad, how to run away from the United States on all the inflation, the taxes, crashing down Airbnb markets, all the fun stuff like that. So welcome back once again. My name is Alberto Garcia. I'm from Muller Properties. I'm here with my partner, Nick. He is Tulum Vibe, which you all know from the book and his course. And it's nice that you guys are here with us again, and it's going to be great to talk to you all once again.
Welcome, everybody. Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday investments. So I want to talk today about kind of a few things. Last week, we spoke about how many people came to Mexico in 1 week to the Cancun airport. There was 371,000 people landing in the airport in Cancun. And from Cancun all the way to Chetumal, there's 170,000 Airbnbs and hotel rooms that are available. So we know that there is a huge demand for these rooms. That's why we stay busy. And so you have been getting weekly reports on this, and that's awesome. I also want to go through some new stuff about AirDNA info, and about better profit margins on rentals on the other side of the highway. And if you stick around for this video and this podcast, we are releasing something that is going to benefit you guys more than it's going to benefit us. We're going to be building a community, and we have gotten a lot of feedback from leads, clients, people who just want information from my book and from the online course. So we have built something that will allow you to find a new partner. It's going to help you get involved with financing here. We're going to be hosting monthly events here, where you get to come down, meet a developer, meet multiple developers, meet different notaries, learn the full process, and you guys are actually going to be included in our back end of basically our business. Because we've seen that, I'm new to the real estate industry. I left from New York, came down here, bought a place, ended up working in this industry, selling over 40 units from this YouTube channel specifically. And I've noticed that what happens is a lot of the real estate agents in the area, they're here just looking to sell. The way that Alberto, myself, our team, the only way that we're successful is if you're successful. And what I mean by that is, if we were to line you up with a property that you might think will do well, we have no problem selling it to you. But if you come to us and we help consultatively walk you through data-driven insights like we do here on the podcast and make you successful, our goal is at the end of the day to manage your unit, because you're going to need somebody. So we have our management company that manages the units, but also we know that you have friends, and we offer a referral bonus, right? And for us, we also want to grow as well, not just here in the Riviera Maya. One day, Colombia, Costa Rica, Panama, Dominican Republic, the rest of Mexico. And so our job is to basically get all of this data research, the market research, meet the right people for you, so that you can be successful and you can follow us. And at the end of this, podcast, we're going to explain to you what we have coming for building this community, so that you can be involved in it as well. So
Nice.
That's my little spiel.
Mhm. That was your nice monologue. So let's jump into data. Let's jump into last week's data. We did last week, the week before that. So what I'm going to share with y'all right now is the last week of September. Okay, we're going to talk about how many flights came in, what the tourist location looks like, and I'm not going to take as long as I did last week, go into details. I do want to hit some bullet points that I think are important that shows things. Okay, so in the Mexican Caribbean, we have a 59.7% occupancy the last week of September. Okay, total arrivals to this region. When I say this region, I'm talking about the Cancun Airport, Cozumel Airport, and Chetumal Airport. Keep in mind that Chetumal Airport does not accept any international flights. Okay, so all the international flights are arriving in Cancun and Cozumel. All the national flights are arriving into Chetumal. So that's also a big difference. People say, but why they're building another airport in Tulum when there's already one in Chetumal? Well, Chetumal is national. It's not international. So we have 382,000 people arrived the last week of September of what people call septiembre, which basically means hungry September. All right. Now, where are these people coming from? We had 38% of those arrivals came from the United States. 35% of those came from Mexico, national flights. Very small amount from Canada. And who can blame them? I mean, Canada's belly up right now with inflation and jobs. And it's going crazy up in Canada right now. I feel for my Canadian friends, my crazy Canadian friends. All right. So I'm going to breeze over the cruise lines. We had 85 total cruises arrive into the region. So that's between Cozumel and Mahahual, 85. That's a lot of tourists. They multiply that times what? 400? You said 4,000 people per ship. Is that right? 3,000?
Yeah, there's at least minimum, on those big ships, 4,000. I can Google it. What's the average?
Yeah, Google it.
What's the average cruise ship hold for passengers? Yeah, about 3,000 guests. For example, most of the major cruise lines in the industry hold anywhere between 2,000 and 4,000 guests and measure about 1,000 feet long. So
wow, that's another 255,000 people, bro, arrived just that week. I mean, just the month of September altogether. So really quick, what this means, why am I telling you guys about cruise ships? Because nobody that's staying on a cruise ship is going to come stay in your Airbnb, and no one's going to come rent your property, right? What I'm talking about is tourism and the health of the destination. But also, I want to lean towards not just buying an Airbnb or buying a condo or a house. Why not buy a mixed use lot in downtown Playa del Carmen or a mixed use lot in Cozumel and building a business there? If you're going to have this many tourists coming through there, you can rent out that to another commerce, to another local that wants to open up a store, a restaurant, or whatever. And that way you are actually contributing to the economy and you're getting a nice return on your investment. You don't necessarily just have to buy a condo, put it on Airbnb to make money. There's lots of other ways. And I think information with the cruise lines is a perfect example that there's 255,000 people that come here on cruises. They park and they get off and they go shopping. Right. So it wouldn't be a bad gig to get yourself a mixed use lot, build a commercial property in the bottom floor, and then build a couple apartments in the second and third floor to have yourself a nice building. Right. So that's always an opportunity. It's always an option, which is why I like to mention this portion. It's not just some random data. All right. So going to flights. So we had a total of 1,626 flights arrive into the region. So 1,500 of those went to the Cancun airport, 31 of those went in and out of Cozumel, and 19 of those went to Chetumal, like I had mentioned before. Okay, so where are they coming from? 18 different cities in Europe, 23 different cities in South America, 25 cities in Mexico, 36 cities in the United States, and 9 cities in Canada. So it gives you an idea where our tourists are coming from flying down to this region, okay? And we're going to go down to the fun part, to fun stuff. Where's everybody staying? Where's everyone staying in these locations, right? Well, 70% again this week of the 100% are staying between Cancun and Playa del Carmen, or Playa del Carmen and Tulum, these two areas here. So that's really where the destinations are. People are investing right now is either Puerto Morelos, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and also Tulum. and not in any particular order, but that's really the region you want to. So we want to put your investments in, whether you're going to open up a business or buy some land and build some homes or build some condos, stuff like that. Okay. So total last week we had 40,895 active rental properties on the market, and the average per night didn't change. It's still at 1,117 pesos per night. This is giving you occupancies per region on vacation rentals for condos and houses. Now, this is not 100% accurate. I want to make sure and give you guys a disclaimer here. This is coming from AirDNA, which is accurate up to a point, right? I went to a training yesterday with a colleague of mine. His name is Diego Colom. You should look him out. He's the owner and founder of Towers Capital. Great company, great broker, super knowledgeable. The guy is really data driven, and he does all of his stuff based on market analysis, just like we do. It's amazing. He's a good guy, and we did a little seminar. He did a seminar, I'm sorry, on AirDNA, and one of the things that he reinforced and mentioned several times, saying that AirDNA is about 80% accurate, right? Because you don't have bookings not included in there. It's just going to be VRBO and Airbnb inside the AirDNA information. So you're lacking booking, you're lacking all the other websites of rental properties that are out there, which kind of gives you a reason why we don't have all the exact numbers. So that 20% buffer in there gives you a plus or minus, right, on the stats that you're seeing here. So with that being said, you've got, Puerto Venturas is 52%. They're all in the 50%. The ones that are lower, getting Mahahual, Tulum's at 48%, Puerto's at 32%, but Cozumel, Cancun, Akumal, the Riviera Maya region, I mean, even Holbox is actually doing pretty good. That's more of a European destination, just so you guys know. Playa 55 and Tulum at 48. So these are your occupancies. Excuse me. What's nice is seeing your active rentals in each region, so you can see what's in the market. I'm going to go over this in a minute, give you all some negative. Excuse me. I'm going to give you all some negative stuff. It can't all be rainbows and butterflies and Hershey kisses. There is a negative impact on what's happening in the region right now on what people are buying and why they're buying it. But I'll go over that in just a minute. So in Playa del Carmen, you've got 13,857 available units. This is skewed. It's probably a little bit more, actually. And Tulum does have more than 9,468 units available for rent. I think we talked about this yesterday. I think there's like 13,000 actually. We went over these numbers yesterday. Okay, so you guys have an idea.
And they're building more. So in the next,
that's what we're going to talk about.
Much more.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk. They're actually going to release just in 20. I'll jump in it right now. Just in 2023, I believe the number was another 10 to 12,000 are going to be released into inventory this year. And then over the next 2 years, it's going to hit like 40,000 units altogether. Because you're going to have, you've already got like, in this year, we'll have like 23,000 units in the market in Tulum. And then over the next 2 years, there's still another 450 developments being built right now in Tulum. And a lot, like 300 of those are just in Region 15 alone. And it's going to give another like 20,000 units that'll be delivered in the next 2 years. So where the negative part of this happening is based on the attrition rate or what's happening in the region. During COVID or before 2023, this year's been I'm going to do another side note again. You can't base your investment just on this year's information on the negative stuff, just like you couldn't base your investment on all the positives that was happening in 2021 and 2022. Because people that are buying in those regions with all these amazing return on their investments that were realistically not sustainable, and making those important business decisions and purchasing their investment properties at the same time on the other side of the coin. You can't say, no, I'm not going to buy now because all the negative stuff happening this year, because there's an anomaly happening right now.
Let's talk about the reason as to why. There were 2 countries open during COVID, Mexico and Dubai. Yep. And so I don't know why I just had balloons go up.
I don't know. I did that yesterday too when you joined the group when we were having that conference.
Yeah, I just had balloons on my Zoom.
Yeah, dude.
There they go. And so the reason why those numbers were so high was because of COVID. And, if you are an investor, you're familiar with dollar cost averaging, right? And dollar cost averaging is diversifying over a period of time and reaping the benefits from the cash flow that you have coming in, whether you're getting paid dividends or getting paid per night, stays on Airbnb, but also the appreciation over time. And I think this is a side note for me too. I think that a lot of people, because we have Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, they see these videos like, oh, just jump into ChatGPT and make a business and you can make $50,000 a month. Like it doesn't happen. I
It doesn't
mean,
work.
it,
Oh, I'm out. I gotta go later, man.
it works, but they don't show the time and the energy that they put in and the money that they spend. They just show
I
the
know,
good
I
things.
know,
And it's
I
built
know.
this culture around, well, everything is going to be rainbows, butterflies, and Hershey kisses, like you said, where that's not really how it works. That if that's how it works, we'd all have six-pack abs. You go to the gym to get a six-pack, or you could go to OXXO and buy a six-pack yourself and drink it when you get home. But the thing is that everybody has this mentality that things are easy, and that is not what we're doing here by helping other people invest and getting you to this point of, hey, look, we have this, it's amazing, you're going to make 12% every single year. No, you're not. You're going to
Impossible.
reap the benefits from the appreciation. And in my course and in my book, the resale market on one bedrooms is not that good right now.
Mhm.
And I'm not going to push you to buy a 3-bedroom because you have to spend more money, but that's what the data shows. And out of those 13,000 that are in Tulum, the majority of them are 1-bedroom apartments. But when you look at the market, who's coming, they want to rent because they want to rent more units because they're coming in groups. And that's why I bought my 3-bedroom apartment. And that's why it outperforms the AirDNA data because of that. So that's my little side note. But the reason why those numbers were so high is because Mexico was open
Of course.
during COVID.
Yep.
And
Yep.
no one
And
had a choice.
and what was happening with that, Nick, what ended up happening is you had an influx of not permanent guests, people that were going to be living here for long term. They were here to weather the storm, which is a big difference. And it caused, basically what's happening is developers were pre-selling 50 units and they would sell 90% before they moved the first brick. Like it was unbelievable. The developers are like, this is it, we've made it, and all of a sudden everybody started building in Tulum.
I
And
sold an entire building with no marketing material before
there you
we even,
go.
it's being delivered right now.
That's exactly the point I'm making, right? So now people are buying based on that and expecting some ridiculous return on their investments. Now let's flip the coin. Let's go to the negative side, which is happening right now. Right now, based on the inventory we already have, if nobody else builds, there's not a single one, not even one more building that goes up in Tulum. It's going to take us 5 years to sell all the inventory that's happening in Tulum right now. So essentially what Diego was saying yesterday, we're actually 2 years behind based on the inventory. So, but that's based on this year's numbers. Why? Because instead of selling 2, 3, or 4 units per month per development, it's 0.06. Right? It's not even a full unit per month right now because of the recession, because of inflation, because of interest rates. Yeah, there's a bunch of factors, outside factors, that it took a while for it to affect us down here. And it really inflation didn't really affect us that much. I mean, I'm sure people are going to try to argue this point with me, but I think it actually went down 2.65% this year, inflation in Mexico versus up. And I have to look up that data, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty accurate on it. So the cost of living didn't really go up in Mexico, or especially here in Playa del Carmen. The prices stay the same.
And
Tulum.
I'll tell you why is because Mexico's culture, Mexico's way of living, they don't loan money out. So everyone here is working for their money. So interest rates have pretty much stayed the same between 7 and 10% all the time, but everyone uses cash here and buys what they own. There's no loans that are given out to the bank. So yeah, of course,
For foreigners. There is
yeah,
mortgages here. We do have mortgages. I have a mortgage on my house. I'm Mexican.
but they're at 7 to 10%. So
Correct.
when they're giving out mortgages in the United States at minus 3.6, that's free money.
That would be
Like,
beautiful.
and now, so that's my point is things are different here. So comparing apples to oranges, where inflation, I mean, everything revolves around the US dollar, the peso is getting stronger. It's 64% cheaper to live here in Mexico as a whole than it is to live in the United States. And people are flocking here. That those are our clients. These are the people that are watching our
Yep.
YouTube channel right now.
No. So like what Nick was saying, the inflation didn't get affected here like it did in the States, and our cost of living didn't go up. You know, what did happen is the cost of rental properties for Americans did go up. Why? Because most of these properties are listed in pesos. And back when the peso was at 20 to 1, that means I would list my property for 20,000 pesos a month for my rental property. It would cost $1,000 to an American, or a Canadian, it would cost $1,300, right? 13 Canadian dollars. But we didn't change our pesos because we're in Mexico. So why are we going to change our stuff to dollars? So the 20,000 pesos now is $1,400 for Americans, $1,700 a month for Canadians. That's a big increase in cost for on rent. So yeah, it did get more expensive for Canadians to come down because their peso, their dollar, the Canadian dollar, American dollar weren't going as far. But jumping to the different, back to Tulum really quick. Buying right now isn't the negative thing. I'm saying you can't buy with these expectations based on 2021 and 2022, and you can't not buy because of the negative aspect that's happening right now in Tulum, because there's a lot of inventory in Tulum. So what do you need to do? How do you do this? How do you make an intelligent investment? And that's where, you know, we can go into a bunch of really cool stuff that I saw yesterday and talk about it really quick. You know, what I noticed is when people are buying in the Riviera Maya, we've been sold the idea on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, all the different social media apps that are out there, that everybody wants to be oceanfront. Everybody wants to be near Fifth Avenue. Everybody wants to be near the hotel zone in Tulum. And realistically, that whole idea, the reason why you're buying an investment property isn't necessarily, you're not doing it because you like it or because you're falling in love with it. Now, you might buy, I'll sell you a vacation home and we'll deck it out and we'll get you the perfect place that you're going to use as a vacation home. That's a totally different conversation. But if you're looking for as an investment, well, you got to go where the data shows you, right? And that's where AirDNA comes in. It's super cool, man. I was pleasantly surprised yesterday when I saw a 75% occupancy with an average of 49% occupancy in a region that I was looking at yesterday. And people were renting these houses that are not near the beach. They're not near Fifth Avenue. They're not near downtown. They're 15 minutes in a car to get to it downtown in Playa del Carmen. And they had higher occupancies and they had a lower entry ticket, right? So, you know, what people were doing is the reason why those studios were so attractive is the entry ticket, the break point was, you know, $99,000, $130,000. Well, that's a great price because you could rent that out for $50 a night and you're crushing it, right? If you can rent it, but now you can't rent it. So if you had that same entry point in a home, but it's not going to be oceanfront, it's not going to be close to any kind of downtown stuff, and you start renting that out internationally to Europeans. I mean, a lot of Europeans, they don't stay downtown. A lot of the expats, the older expats, people in their 50s and 60s, they don't want to be downtown. They don't want to be in the middle of all the taxis and the traffic and the hustle and bustle. And they want to come down and relax for 3 months out of the year, rent that property, and then go back home, or be like winter Texans. We used to call them in Texas. They'd come down from the north during the winter, right? So the snowbirds would come down in the wintertime to enjoy the warmth and then go back home when it's in summertime, do 6 months. So having these properties was actually a big eye opener and a huge return on their investment. I mean, these guys are spending $150,000, $200,000 on 3-bedroom houses, 3-bedroom house for 200 grand, and they're renting them out and they're making, I don't know, 350,000 pesos a year on it, on a house that cost them, I don't know, 2.5 million pesos. Just do the quick math on that. Now, this is gross numbers, not net, right? You just have to take out your HOA fees, your taxes. By the way, I mean, taxes are 0.025. It's negligible, right? But your overall profit on this, the reason why you're buying down here is to get a good investment, to get a return on your investment, right? So I think opening our eyes in the future, when we start looking at this, I'm going to be doing a little more outskirts searching. You know, we've talked about this before. Nick and I have a place in Aldea Sac Bay. Aldea Sac Bay is in Puerto Morelos. It's not downtown. It's not exorbitant amount prices. You can get a piece of land, 15,000 square feet for 60 grand. You can get a house built on there, a 1-bedroom house for another 45. Let's say 110 grand all in. You have a 1-bedroom house on 15,000 square feet of property that you own in the Riviera Maya, in the jungle, with like a wellness hotel, a spa. I mean, you'll be part of a community, right? So, I mean, there's lots of really cool stuff to get into. It doesn't have to necessarily be oceanfront, and there is a lot of inventory right now, and we are feeling the inflation. We are feeling the crash in the States and Canada, not necessarily in our day-to-day life, but in overall sales in the market down here.
Yeah, I agree.
Good answer. I agree.
No, I think that a lot of people are, the COVID changed everything, right? And during that time, you had Trump as the president. I was making a shit ton of money from trading crypto and stocks. I mean, it was like put in $300 and walk away with 10,000. And it was like, wow, this is crazy. And now, you know, the markets are settling out and figuring its stuff out. And people were happy then, and now everybody's struggling. So you have to take everything with a grain of salt. But at the same time, I think, you know, we talked kind of like how bad social media could be, or painting this false picture. But I think that social media has allowed us to see behind the scenes, outside of the media, from other people creating content around, you know, what's really going on. And over the past 5 years, I've learned more about economics just from watching people and following people on, you know, investing and things like that. So you get what you put in. If you're following hot babes on the beach all day and nonsense fights and whatnot, you're going to get garbage. But if you follow people that are showing you and teaching you things, you're going to learn, and it's going to only be beneficial towards you when you do make an investment, whether it be out of the country or you know, doing different methods of I watched something last night. If you're going to buy
I watched that chess movie last night, by the way. It was awesome.
Amazing.
It was good. It's a good movie. Good movie.
Last night, there was a guy on, like, in an interview like this, and it opened my eyes, like, wow, I didn't think about that. Where if you're going to go and buy a house, he said something along the lines of, you could buy a trailer home for $10,000, and then you could sell it. You know, you put in a nice spot, you fix it up, you could sell it for $50,000, and you could reap those benefits. Or you could put that $10,000 in a trust fund, in an insurance, like it was like an insurance trust fund, at a 5% interest rate, but it compounds yearly, and you can borrow against that 10,000. So when you borrow against the 10,000, that money is still growing. You go and buy the house or the trailer home for 10,000. Now you sell it for 50. You made a 40,000 profit. You put that 40 grand back into that insurance trust, and it's now compounding at 5. You're paying the 5% interest back, which
To yourself.
But that 10,000, it cost you $500 to borrow 10,000 to make 40. And it's like, wow, I guess
I've been seeing a lot of that.
You became your own bank.
Absolutely.
And it's little things like that. But we've been conditioned to, this is how you need to do it. And I find it funny all the time when we talk to people and they say, oh, 7 and 9% interest rate is way too much. I'm not going to do that. And it stops there. They're like, no, I can't invest in Mexico anymore. And I'm like, wait a second. What if I told you that your mortgage is going to be $1,500 a month at that 9-10%? Let's say 2,000. It's $2,000 a month, but you're going to bring in $6,000 a month. So you're going to pay maybe $2,800 in fees, supplies, you know, people managing it, everything. So you're paying $2,800 to make $6,000. If you think of it that way, does 10% sound bad?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, if you put it that way, I guess that does make sense. I'm like, yeah, you're just conditioned that in the good times when we were going through COVID and interest rates were 3.6%, you are conditioned that that's the amount that you need to get. But it's like putting a Band-Aid on a bigger problem, because now at 3.6% during that time, you're over here in 2023 and things are bad and you didn't pay attention. So exactly what you said is what's happening. You can't look at the good times and you can't look at the bad times, where you can just restructure things. You can restructure things. I mean, in the book, in my course, my buddy Bobby, we talk about literally lowering your taxes just on Airbnb rentals by 64% here. So I'm not good at math, but if you lower your taxes and you have a rate at 10%, well, that rate technically is going to even go further down. So that 10% might now be a 6% because I helped you lower your taxes. And on top of that, if you structure your taxes in the United States through an LLC with a holding company in an offshore country, which is fully 100% legal, and it's literally written in the tax code book to structure it that way, you're now reducing that 10% loan to maybe 5% or 6% because you're making up for it somewhere else.
Different. Yep.
But
absolutely.
And that's the point of having these podcasts like that. That's kind of my mission on doing this, not to prove people wrong, but just to educate people and build this community around what we're building in the Discord channel that's gonna come out. That was an easy flow.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, we have this Discord channel coming out, and this book that I wrote, this course that I built with Gerardo, and this Discord channel is basically what I just explained earlier. Is like, this is the trust. This is the process that you have to go through before you buy, right? It's like, it's a benefit for you. So to compare it to what I just mentioned about the trailer park, is most people would just go and buy the trailer park for 10,000. But this Discord channel, this book, this course is that trust where you're going to reap the benefits, because it's almost like an insurance policy. Now you have all the ammo that you need from my failures, literally my failures. I took a loan from Tucasa Express, signed the paperwork, and my rate goes up 3% every 6 months from the previous one, not 3 points every month. But like, I'm here to tell you, don't do that shit. You know, like
you wouldn't have to tell me that, dude, if I saw my interest rate going up 3% every 6 months, bro.
Yeah, well,
you fell hard, dude.
No, they don't explain. You look at the contract for Tucasa.
I did. I have. I was like, it looked like a nightmare, man. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It looks like a nightmare.
And so this course, this book, this Discord channel is literally all of my failures, all of the failures that I've learned over the past 3-4 years, everything that you've heard from what's going on, the rules that are changing in Mexico. We didn't even go over the new rule that's changing with registering the Airbnb as a business. And all of that is not for me to necessarily make money off of it and try to like take advantage of people. It's
monetized knowledge.
It's monetized knowledge for a reason. One, because nobody knows this, but like, I literally sit in this room from 8 a.m. until 2 a.m. You're the only one that knows.
I know this.
You get my text messages at 2, 3
in
o'clock
the morning. Watch this video. It's like, dude, no.
And so all of this knowledge and all of this, I have spent the past year literally just organizing it and putting it into these different avenues for everyone to reap the benefits from, so that they can be successful. And I know, like, I'm playing the long-term game with you, is if I can make people successful and we reach 1 million people to invest in Mexico, and out of a million, 100,000 people buy the book, buy the course, and join the Discord channel, and then we only get 100 investors. Well, those 100 investors are going to be our partners, and they're going to be the ones that move with us to Colombia, move with us to Dominican Republic. And yeah, I made a little bit of cash off the selling of the course, the book, whatever. But the real thing is to funnel out the serious people from the not so serious people. And I'm okay with saying that, because that's really what it is. Everybody's got to eat, live, enjoy life. And at some point, when I have all this automated for everybody's benefit, that allows us to grow together. And that's what this Discord channel is all about. Maybe I share my screen and show it. Should I do that?
No, not yet. Not yet.
All right,
So I want to add to what you're talking about right now. There's a couple of things I want to talk about before the Discord stuff, but the Discord is going to give an opportunity to people to connect with other like-minded individuals that are looking to invest and wanting to invest, right? It's not necessarily an agent, broker, client type of scenario, right? So what we're trying to do is create a community of people that are wanting to do something, people that have land and they're looking for an investor that wants to build, people that want to build, they're looking for somebody that has land, or someone that wants to get involved in a pre-friends and family pricing structure with a developers that I'm friends with, that we have contacts with, that I have a one-on-one communication with. And they've offered us an opportunity to give exclusive prices to our Discord members that are looking for investments down here that no one else is going to have access to. I'm talking even before the prices come out, you're going to get an opportunity to get involved in something in pre-construction before they even get the construction license, and get like 5 or 6 units at below 20% of what the listing price is going to be. It's going to be another 40% increase over the next 18 months. I mean, something like that. But that's the Discord stuff. I do want to talk about really quick about this gentleman that we did a tour with a couple of weeks ago. I was talking to him last night. We have a sale that we're going through right now, and I said, you know what? I found some interesting information out about investing in these regions over here in places that are a little bit on the outside, but are still giving good returns. And he said to me, you know what, Alberto, I'm going to wait for a split minute because 2024 looks pretty hairy. It looks like there's some huge cracks. Actually, I'll read the message to you, because this guy's a hedge fund dude. I mean, he's a retired big boy, in the finance industry. And he says to me, he's like, hey, you know what? FYI, I've been chatting with my old partner who's still managing our hedge fund. Lots of cracks are showing in the U.S. housing and economy. 2024 could be a hairy year. And I'm going to wait for distressed opportunities that might arise. So this is classic real estate 101. When there is a recession, or when there is a crisis, or when there is a crash, this is why the rich keep getting richer, is because they are happy when things are going well, and they're even more happy the opportunities that arise when things are going bad. So this dude's done very well for himself, and he said, you know what, I'm going to wait and see if I can find some opportunities to take advantage of, because everybody's freaking out in the United States.
He's playing the long game. He's playing the long game.
That's a long game, right? So that's exactly what's going to happen in Tulum, where we need to be really careful on not cannibalizing our resale market with our pre-construction market, right? What can happen, that's happened here in Playa, and a couple of different sections in Playa, where the resale market is affected by the new pre-construction, because they're basically giving more space for less money on the condo that I bought 4 years ago. So now the condo that I have 4 years ago that I bought for a certain price tag is now not worth that, because the one next door is actually bigger with nicer amenities for less expensive. So now my resale market is getting affected. So there's got to be a way where we got to take care of our destination here, as owners and as investors. Selling cheap isn't always the best opportunity. What we could do is create a monopoly and sell it expensive, so everybody makes money, and we're not cannibalizing each other in the long run on the resale market as well, right? Because the resale market is an important factor in all of real estate. Next, you were talking about the investing or paying a mortgage $2,000 a month and then getting $6,000. one of the things that I do want to make sure that people understand is be real on your cap rates, right? If your cap rate's going to be, if you're looking for an 8, 9, 10% cap rate, it's a super risky, super volatile. It's not a guarantee. You're going to be looking at something that's going to crash eventually. But if you start shooting for something that's 3, 4, 5, maybe 6% cap rate, if you don't know what cap rate is, go to ChatGPT and look it up. It'll tell you a great description of it. And you could, that's a good way of judging where you want to buy and where the good investments at. If you're looking at buying a resale market, right? Looking at a resale property and stuff like that. Because if you're looking at pre-construction, it's all going to be projections. It's going to be estimates. It's going to be based on what the surrounding area is doing. It's not necessarily an exact number. And one thing that everybody needs to get away from, because Nick was talking about social media a lot right now and talking about what it does, is you need to get away from speculation and opinions and start focusing more on data-driven decisions. And if you start doing your stuff based on data-driven decisions and make it an intelligent investment, not based on wants and likes, unless, like I said before, you're looking for your second vacation home and you're not looking to make money on it and you're looking to buy an amazing place to bring your family every year, you want to decorate however you want, that's different. But if you're looking specifically for an investment property, you cannot be persuaded by your next door neighbor's brother, sister-in-law's cousin who says he heard one time from Billy Bob Jordan that was the location to buy. And that's why you want to buy there because it's close to the ocean and they told you that was going to be a good place. Unless they're going to be renting it from you for 75% of the year, don't take their advice. Unless that person's going to specifically come down 75% of the year, they're renting it from you and they're going to give you that return on your investment. Otherwise, you need to do data-driven decisions. That's that one. One more. It's all going in together, all tying in together for advice on what you'll get from us when you work with us at Mueller Properties is we have people that we talk to, and there's a specific story that I can tell you right now, a third-party story of a gentleman that bought 5 apartments at 500,000 pesos each. They're not worth 500,000 pesos anymore. I'm talking, like 7 years ago. There's still condos at that price range on the other side of the highway. Okay, so he bought 5 of those at 500,000 pesos each. It's 2.5 million pesos. Back then, the dollar was at like 11 or 12 pesos to the dollar. So it was like close to $200,000, right? So instead of buying one unit in downtown Playa or buying one unit and getting a return on that unit, he went long-term rental instead. So what this dude's doing, he's got 5 units for rent. They're all worth 1.3, 1.4 million pesos, about $75,000. He spent 25. Yeah, that's not bad, but he's not selling them. He's renting them. And you know where he's living? He's living in Agua. Agua's like, those are condos for like 800 to 1.2 million dollars to buy, and he's renting a place there. So he's doing the Grant Cardone. You buy where you're going to rent it out, and you live where you rent. And that philosophy where all the real estate you buy, you don't live in it, you rent it out. And then you don't buy real estate to live in, you rent where you want to live. So that's literally what this guy's doing. And you don't necessarily have to buy a 3-bedroom condo or a 4-bedroom condo to get high returns on your investment. You just have to be intelligent and study the market and let us help you explore and have an open mind that it's not just one way to make money. And then last, in closing, I want to talk about what you said, Nick, about nobody understands the work that goes into being successful. There's a bunch of pictures on Google, like memes, where you see an iceberg, right? You see an iceberg, and that iceberg, all you see is the tip of the iceberg, right? But you don't see all the shit below the iceberg. All you see is that little point. So that's basically saying people think success is easy because all they see is the success. They don't see all the failure and destruction and money lost and tears and the blood and the sweat and giving up and starting again before that success came up, right? So the Instagram paints that picture of pure success, guys driving Bentleys and Lamborghinis and Ferraris and these mansions. And most of the time they're rented. They don't even own these properties or there's even a guy that has a business that rents out a private jet to take pictures on your Instagram for. Like there's a business for this dude. Like literally you can go and take pictures and he charges you to take pictures in the jet to make yourself look like you're important. It's unbelievable. So you can't believe everything you see on the internet. You can't believe everything you read in a newspaper anymore. You can't believe it just AirDNA. You can't believe just Airbnb. You can't believe just me or just Nick. What you need to do is you get educated information from all different avenues, different revenue streams. I was going to say different regions of getting the information. putting it all together to make an educated guess, because there is no guarantees in real estate, right? The only thing that's guaranteed in this planet is death and taxes. And one of those you can save 64% with Nick. So, that's the only thing that's guaranteed, but you can make an educated guess based on a market analysis and statistics. So that's my rant and plugs and talking about the region and the areas. There's still a lot good opportunities down here. It just might not be what you think it is. You don't necessarily have to spend a bunch of money to make a bunch of money. And the Discord channel, it'll be live soon. It's going to be sick. It's going to be amazing. You'll be able to get this stuff in there, and you'll be able to talk to people like I was mentioning right now that know the markets in other areas and get some really good educated conversations going on.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to show them. We'll
Yeah,
show it.
wait.
Yeah.
Wait, it's not ready yet. It's not ready yet. It needs a couple of things. I know you really want to. I know you're dying to show it. I know you want to, but it's missing some stuff. It's missing some stuff. It's almost. You want to tell them the name? You can tell them the name.
Maybe we should have them guess the name.
If you guess the name, you'll get I don't know. You get a night out when you come down with us. We'll take you out.
Yeah, you can stay. You can stay in my penthouse for 3 days.
There you go. If you guess the name.
Yeah, we'll tell them the name. It's the Capital Dream Discord channel, and we will have it launched shortly. We have a meeting today to go over some more stuff. There's going to be all kinds of awesome stuff in there for
lots of stuff.
Serious. I think this could change the way I use Discord for all kinds of other things. But to put it into the real estate and what we're doing and building this community and helping other people, make these educated decisions it's a perfect outlet because it keeps everything organized. My brain works like Discord. Like it's all like folders. I have to see it to understand it. And I think that this is gonna be really helpful for a lot of people. We already I put in the chat right here, we got 8 people that put their email in the jot form. So
yeah,
we got 8 people from here to join. I'm gonna send out an email to our mailing list of 1,200 people. We'll do maybe a launch. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll do a live launch to get people into the Discord channel. That's a cool idea. We'll do a live launch. We'll do a live premiere for the Discord channel to get everybody in. That's what we should do.
Okay.
We should have a little event here on YouTube where everybody can get in and join the Discord channel.
Sounds cool. I'll talk to the developers, make sure they get their account set up and ready to go. That way they are they're going to be in there as well from day one.
Okay. Cool. Well, I think this was another great podcast.
Yep.
Let's
wait, hold on, real quick, hold on. By the way, these developers are not in there to sell their product.
That's true.
These developers that are coming here, they're coming with their knowledge. This one gentleman they've been developing for over 20 years in the Riviera Maya. They're a big company and they're developed in Merida. They've developed in Playa del Carmen. They've developed in Tulum. They've been in this region for a long time. And this guy's not coming in there to push his product down your throat, which is a huge plus, which is completely against what I like to do, is basically sell through education. You want to buy from me, then I'll sell you, so he's going to be there to be able to share a wealth of knowledge to other developers that are looking at wanting to build down here, what to do, what not to do, the headaches, the insides and outs. And he doesn't mind sharing this information because he's been here for 20 years. He's already established. He's not worried about the competition, so to speak. Right. So anyway, I wanted to say that really quick.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. The Discord group is definitely not there to sell anything. It's not a spot that we're going to have our agents like, hey, what's your name? Okay, let's set up a meeting. It's a place for all of our information to be fed in there. The book is available. The course is available. Our events are going to be available. The financing is going to be available. The developers are going to be there. We'll have live Q&As, around different things. And it's also there for you to find a partner Maybe you want to buy a piece of land, but you don't have the cash. And it's almost like a fractional ownership type thing where you buy the land, another partner will come in and they can build the units, and then we could sell it for you. We could manage it for you, however you want to do it. But it's a place to house you guys to be able to find partners and get all the information, because it doesn't exist anywhere else.
Yep. Oh, dang it. I got to say another thing, dude. By the way, we just we're going to proudly announce officially right now that we just signed a exclusive commercial agreement with AlaUmai by Pina. If you have heard of Pina, or if you heard of Tulum or AlaUmai, I encourage y'all to look it up. There is a development that's being built out there. And the words from the developer, the architect, were it's based and centered around human-centered design. In other words, this is literally thinking 10 to 15 years in the future. This development is going to revolutionize the region and what is being offered as services, amenities, low carbon footprint, and also sustainability within the development itself with rainwater and the irrigation and the water treatment plant that's going to be there, and how to treat the water before it gets released back into the earth. And there's a lot of really cool stuff. So if you're interested in finding out information about the AlaUmai, send us an email, send us a message to Nick, or however you want, or just go to their website if you want to. You're going to get to us that way as well. Okay. So super excited about that. That makes two eco-friendly, self-sustainable or sustainable projects that we're putting our stamp on. One is Aldea Sac Bay in Puerto Morelos, and now we have AlaUmai in Tulum. So that's all. I'm done.
Should we tell them who Pina is? They're the number one architectural design firm and the firm in the world. You've probably seen their products. You probably don't know their name, their brand name. They're from Italy.
But the number three branded residential company in the world.
Yep. They are, they've been around for 93 years, and they don't really, we were on the call with them yesterday. They don't really have anything to sell. They don't have a product. They literally sell.
They're architects.
Their brand. Some of the designs that you would recognize would be the Panama Canal Bridge, the Juventus Soccer Stadium, the interior, the 7,000 flavor Coca-Cola machine with all those buttons, right? The Ferrari, they designed all the Ferraris for the Testarossa, the GT, for like 70 years now. They have the Istanbul airport FAA tower, the tower design. They sent over a sheet yesterday with they have stuff in Brazil, Merida, Japan, Europe. Like, I mean, they're huge.
Which chat did they put that in?
They sent us the PDF file yesterday.
They did, right?
I'll send it.
I don't know if I have it. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It really is. And anything that you see, this is important to know too, because this is going to show our bottom of the iceberg. And anything that you see, if you watch this, if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, TikTok, anything that you see about AlaUmai will only come directly from us and our team. We have exclusive rights to advertise for it, to follow their brand guidelines.
Very strict guidelines.
So everything that comes from AlaUmai will be a result of our work. My point is that if you see it and you're interested in it, that means that my Facebook ads are running and my knowledge on getting in front of you is working. That's going to be, we're starting on that now. We've already been starting on it. Couldn't release that information. So,
but now it's there.
Now it's there. So the Discord group is coming. AirDNA That was a good conversation. What else? The world is shifting, and
Well, it's always been turning, dude.
yeah.
What's the way of seasons, bro? Come on, man.
And if you have any questions, the link below will be there for my book, my course, to help you make these data-driven decisions. So we'll see you next week, every Wednesday, 10 o'clock in the morning, our time. I do know that the time change is going to happen, so it will change in a couple weeks.
We don't change here.
I know, but we will be on Eastern time, no longer Central time.
I hate those Eastern people. I'm from Texas.
So cool.
All right.
See you guys.
See y'all later.
See you guys next week.
Thanks for playing. Bye.
All right, cool.